El Paso County voters overwhelmingly approved Props 1, 2, and 3 Tuesday night, giving the city a laundry list of projects to manage. Good evening, I'm Adrian Alvarez.
And I'm Kagan Harsha. Today, city leaders came back with a plan on how and when they'll get started. City Manager Joyce Wilson is scheduled to meet with engineers very soon to lay down a timeline for Props 1 and 2's different projects. Wilson will also consider financing options for the projects, but wants to make sure that paying for them won't significantly raise taxes.
There are some projects, particularly in the Parks and Recreation arena, that are ready to go. They've been designed, and so we will have some projects that I think we can roll out into construction maybe within the first year.
Now that the community has overwhelmingly supported this, it's time for the city staff to get to work and show that we can do what it is we said we were going to do.
Engineers expect to begin construction on the AAA baseball stadium as early as January or February of next year to be ready for the 2014 season. City Council now needs to formally authorize the 2% hotel tax increase that will pay for a lot of that ballpark project.
On team coverage, the city of El Paso announced possible plans to bring a water park to northeast El Paso, where Cohen Stadium currently sits. News Channel 9's Kathy Hernandez continues our team coverage live in the data center with more. Kathy?
Adrian, City Manager Joyce Wilson says a private company approached city officials about the water park. The city would have to help with the cost. This is news to people in the community, even those that will be most affected.
And in addition, which is equally exciting, we've actually been approached by a private company who would like to come into El Paso and perhaps do an attraction venue, a water park, adventure park type of venue.
During a city press conference, City Manager Joyce Wilson told everyone that the water park would be built in northeast El Paso.
We have just started that discussion, and the Cohen Stadium site is actually the priority venue, a location for this, simply because of its visibility, and it's right off the highway.
The details are not clear if Cohen Stadium will have to be demolished.
We may be able to master plan it so that these two projects can coexist.
The Tigua tribe is the current tenants at the stadium. Their lease isn't up for 3 more years. Speaking Rock says they've even been in contact with city officials about extending the lease.
We haven't been approached by the city or anybody else about cutting the lease short. If Joyce Wilson or anybody else mentioned the water park, that's the first we've heard of it.
The new water park would be the second in the borderland, along with Wet n Wild in Anthony, Texas. The water park has been open for more than 30 years.
It's not always the easiest thing to run a water park and to make money off of it. So if city funds are going to be involved, I would say that would be should be of concern to the voters to compete against a private business with public dollars that might not make money.
Now, the company who approached the city is still unknown. City Manager Wilson says her office will start looking at the plans and see if they're reasonable for El Paso. Live in the data center, Kathy Hernandez, News Channel 9.
All right, thank you for that, Kathy. All right, well, three people were taken to the hospital following an early morning car crash in East El Paso. It happened on the westbound side of Interstate 10 near Yarborough. According to El Paso police, the driver in a black vehicle crashed into the back of a van. 3 people in the van were injured. The severity of their injuries is unknown. The driver of the black car was also taken to the hospital for a blood alcohol test to determine if he was drunk. Now, while police were on that scene investigating the crash, another vehicle sped by and hit the side of a marked El Paso police unit. The driver's side mirror and the spotlight on the police car were damaged. El Paso police say the driver got away. He was driving a 4-door Hyundai. If you have any information, call El Paso police at 915-832-4400. Fire crews responded to a house fire this afternoon. It started in the 1100 block of Cotton. Details are limited as to what exactly happened, but 9 fire units responded with 25 firefighters. No one was hurt. It's unclear what started the fire and how much damage was caused to the home. The El Paso Fire Department appointed a new fire chief, interim at least, this afternoon. Assistant Fire Chief Carlos Carmona will take over for Otto Drozd while the position is filled permanently. The department looked at 6 candidates internally who applied for the position.
The city plans to promote from within after seeking input from the community. Carmona plans to apply for the job and is honored to have been named interim.
The men and women of this department are excellent professionals. They are tops, and to be in charge of so many good people is part of that honor, and of course, the love for the community.
Carmona is an El Paso native and started with the department 30 years ago, working his way up to assistant fire chief. He'll take over as interim November 23rd. That's current Chief Otto Drozd's last day. A permanent replacement is expected to be announced within 90 days.
Well, if you like the temperatures today, you might want to drive somewhere else. A big change is coming our way. Chief Meteorologist Chuck DeBroder joins us now with a first look at weather. Chuck.
Well, the first of two weather systems will really impact the borderland tomorrow. High wind watch in effect for the entire area in Brown from late tomorrow night until Saturday evening. Then we have a wind advisory tomorrow, Friday, from 11 in the morning till 11 at night. Why? First, a strong upper wave will go from breezy to windy, an even more powerful wind maker with a cold front. We're going to see temperatures really drop. Now, currently, we're not too bad around the borderland. We're at 76 and 72 in Las Cruces. Your complete forecast in a couple minutes.
Thanks, Chuck. El Paso electric crews in the Northeast who are working to restore power after Superstorm Sandy are now having to deal with the first winter blast of the season up there. El Paso electric crews left to New York last week to help restore power to thousands of people. Their crews have assessed about 400 different locations, repairing downed wires and poles. One of the supervisors says the snow now is making their job much more difficult, and they had to evacuate where they were staying.
The snow came in pretty strong, some strong winds, about 45 where we were at. And we had to deal with the snow this morning. We're not used to sliding in snow in El Paso. The elements are not helping us any.
Rivera says they brought enough gear to handle the weather conditions. He says they will stay as long as people are without power.
An attorney accused of money laundering for the Mexican cartel made an appearance in court today, but it was brief. Federal Judge Norbert Garney issued a continuance for Delgado. He's scheduled to appear in court again November 14th. As we reported, Marco Antonio Delgado is charged with conspiracy to commit money laundering. HSI agents with ICE investigated Delgado for several years, and they connected him to the Mexican cartel. According to the 3-page indictment, Delgado worked with the Guadalajara-based Milenio cartel to launder more than $600 million. ICE agents say Delgado would deposit money into U.S. banks, and the money would simultaneously be withdrawn from a bank in Mexico. We'll keep following this story and keep you posted.
The jury has found 31-year-old Laura Juarez guilty of murder. She's the woman charged with hitting and killing her husband with her car last February. Authorities investigating the incident said that Laura and her husband Salvador Juarez were fighting when Salvador left the apartment walking. According to police, Laura drove the vehicle and found her husband near the entrance of the apartment. Police say the woman struck Salvador with the vehicle, then took him back to their apartment where he died. The jury gave its verdict just an hour ago. Tomorrow at 9 a.m., sentencing will begin. Juarez could face 5 to 99 years in prison and a fine of up to $10,000.
A fight has led to Child Protective Services removing 3 children, all under the age of 3 years old, from a central El Paso home. And now the mother is pleading with authorities to bring them back. News Channel 9's Kay Racine spoke with the mother exclusively and tells us this story.
A young mother crying out for her kids, a 3- and 2-year-old and a newborn.
They're going to take my babies. They didn't ask my babies' names. They didn't ask for nothing.
Police say they received an anonymous call that the children were alone. Child Protective Services then removed the children from the home.
They weren't at home by themselves at any point in time.
Rebecca Kanuski says she and her friend went to the store to buy diapers. When they returned, their 20-year-old babysitter was under arrest.
We just got home. You guys are sitting up in my house, and you took my boy from the jail.
Officials say the underage man had been drinking. With no one to watch the children, authorities removed them from the home.
They didn't even ask me who they were. I didn't even get to tell my daughter bye. I didn't get to hold my youngest son before they took him from me.
The mother admits she was drinking but only had 1 beer.
That makes me incapable and fit to take care of my children.
We reached out to CPS, and although they could not comment about the specific case, they told us in a statement, anytime a very young child or toddler is wandering outside unsupervised, it can be an extremely dangerous situation. It is unsafe for the children to stay in the home, even temporarily. CPS will seek appropriate relative placement, but the young mother continues to plead for her kids.
I just want my babies. I just want to hold my baby.
In Central El Paso, Carrie Seed, News Channel 9.
Child Protective Services says they may remove children temporarily and return the children, but could not disclose the specifics in this case. We're also told that there was an actual custody case over one of the children beforehand with the husband of that woman. So we'll still see if there's anything else, if the kids will be returned.
Well, still ahead on News Channel 9 at 6 tonight, there's reason to celebrate in Juarez. Coming up, we'll let you know why you'll want to tune into our news at 10 tonight.
Plus, a new program in the borderlands helping the environment and making your life a little easier. We'll explain next.
Residents of Juarez have a reason to celebrate. Violent crime in the city is finally on the decline at its lowest level in nearly 5 years. Since 2007, more than 10,000 people have been murdered in the city. Most are victims of the ongoing drug war between two powerful cartels. But so far this year, murders are down more than 40%. Despite that, many are still reluctant, though, to return to the city.
Come to Juarez. This is Juarez, like my friend is coming to Juarez. See by your own eyes what's happening. Juarez is Juarez, a completely alive city with people who has the best.
Tonight at 10 on News Channel 9, I take a closer look at crime in the city and whether it truly is safe to return to Juarez. Again, join us for that story at 10.
The city's Environmental Services Department has created a convenient and environmentally friendly way for the community to reuse old paint. It's called the Paint Reuse Program. The program allows residents to pick up free used latex paint at any of the city's citizen collection stations. Used paint at the drop-off sites is sorted, mixed, and distributed in 5-gallon containers. It's available on a first-come, first-served basis. The sites are open from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday and are located at 2492 Harrison, 1034 Penndale, 4501 Hondo Pass, 4200 Delta, and 121 Atlantic. We've also posted this information on our website, and where you can also call the Environmental Services Department for more information.